And this is Matt Waldman with the Rookie Scouting Portfolio NFL Lens. Allen Robinson, what makes him tick? Well, besides the fact that he can catch the ball, obviously, and run a good route, it's his ability to release off the line, and his short area quickness is a big part of that. He has elite short area quickness, but he also leverages that short area quickness with great control of his feet and hips. Look at the short steps here, right here, to set up that turn of the hips. And that sets up that block on number 24. Quick feet and the ability not to cover a ton of ground with those quick feet until he absolutely needs to, so he can set up the defender and work around them. It's a big part of his route game, especially with releases. You're going to see here, top of the screen, a little quick two. He can get off and earn separation early with a quick two. Now, of course, you know, where he turns, the defender's able to make up ground here, and it's a contested play, but he makes the catch. But you can see the two quick to the inside, then back outside, easy separation on that part of the route. And then you're going to see him vary it up on occasion, where he can do this with a quick three, bottom left. That's a three quick type of release. Defenders have to honor that quickness. And you see that jab to the outside where he really gets outside the bubble of that defender's frame, sells it with the shoulder. That's nice work. Because when you can use your feet quickly, you can win early, force the defenders here to be able to shoot his hands first, and then you react to that and counter punch or make a counter move like right there, be able to use the two quick and then arm over. Notice that the depth of the step isn't much. He doesn't work into the defender. He keeps the depth very shallow with those steps. Barely, really doesn't even move the distance from where his lead foot was in his stance on that particular play. That's what's really interesting about Allen Robinson, his ability to use that shallow depth of step. And of course, you know, he can take the hit here and do a nice job in terms of how he handles plays after contact. But watch right here. You're going to see him two quick steps and a third jab right there. He doesn't cover a lot of ground. Forces the defender to react because of the quickness of the move, because of the width of the move, but not because of the depth of the move. Note how little depth Robinson covers here. Only the span of a yard to get that release off the line with the two quick. And notice how the second step of the left foot is shallower than the first. See how he doesn't, when he makes that second step, it's actually less depth than that first step. So he's not inviting himself to get contact from the defender when he does that. But the quickness of it and the ability to move outside, inside, really sets this up well. The depth of step is important. You're going to see the 45. He's just maybe a foot step behind the 45. And watch how he takes two quick and doesn't even cross the 45. It's that ability to make dramatic movements with little depth of coverage that forces that defender to shoot his hands, and then he can counter with his hands afterwards. So really a lot of this about is using your feet to get the defender to shoot his hands first, and then you can counter off of it. And when you can take small steps that are really explosive, get the defender to shoot late, you can win on a route like this. And he does a great job of that, you know, has the defender trailing all the way through, even though he isn't targeted on it. It's a really nice release. He's singled up a lot, usually in a slot where he gets two-way goes. And you can see there's more depth of step here, but it's because what Robinson's doing is varying up. Instead of a two quick or three step, he's using a double up, where he's using a step with the same foot, the same outside foot. 1, 2. And see how he dragged that inside foot a little bit? The ability to drag that inside foot, you know, to keep that on the ground so he can use that second step with that double up is a really important part of it. You're going to see it one more time here. So variations off of that quickness is important. Various types of footwork movements. And that gets the defender reeling backwards on that play. It's a really nice look for Allen Robinson. Let's take a third look at it, because it's, you know, it's a little bit of a variation there, but you're going to see, you know, basically take one step to the outside and the second one there where he's just dragging that inside foot. Well done. And that variation keeps things fresh, especially with that great speed and footwork control. One of the good things about Robinson's game is that he can also do a lot of this short area quickness work on a longer route, like this story here that he tells. You're going to see him give a little bit of a reach step to the outside, and then he's going to work inside with a double swipe of his arms. So a little bit reach step, double swipe, gets in, and then watch him set inside and then dip back downfield and then stack the man. And as the ball arrives late, watch him lean last second to gain that vertical space. So you can see here that there's 3 points in this where he's using just kind of minimal moves to tell a longer story. Right there, and then right there. Well done. And Robinson wouldn't be a starting receiver in the NFL if he couldn't use these types of moves and vary moves up to tell a longer story. Because if it's all just short routes from the slot, he'd be a one-dimensional option. And he's far from one-dimensional. Watch over here. You're going to have a kind of a pivot with the hips, then a hip shift there where he goes outside, in, out to be able to then set up the break back to the ball. Very nice job here. Let's look at it one more time. You're going to see, once again, you're going to have the pivot to start off the line, upfield, out, in, out. So a little hip shift there to cross up the defender and cross over his chest. And then the nice stop and break right there. Very well done. This is one of my favorite plays to show you because you're going to see some of the same elements in play, but watch how the defender has the back hip and cuts this route off, but then Robinson counters and gets open. Good receivers find solutions even when the defender guesses what they originally planned to do. Too quick, shallow on that outside step, which is great. It gets him inside with that arm over, gets the stack, tries to double and, kind of stutter and work to the outside. Defender has the back hip. He then cuts it off. Let's watch that part again because that's really a nice part of his game is the adjustment here. Because once again, the too quick's nice with that shallow step, that second shallow step, the arm over, stack, tries to look in and then come out. The defender's just playing it patiently. He realizes that, slows down, cuts it off, signals to his quarterback, makes the play. That's great because, again, he has a good plan. He has good execution. The defensive back just happens to be strong with his counter here. He understands he's behind. He also has safety help over the top so he can play underneath. Then Robinson realizes that and makes the second counter there to get the play. In addition to varying depth, they're also varying pace. This is a good example of being patient but sudden as the sideline hustle. You should check out his YouTube channel. Former Rutgers wide receiver coach or assistant coach Drew Lieberman does great work here. And you're seeing that patient but sudden with the steps. You can see that it's kind of a little slower and then that sudden fast jab step. Watch it one more time here. Slow, fast. Then the arm over, slow, fast. Well done. So how do you stop Allen Robinson? Well, triple covering him works. That's one way, pretty much with every receiver. One, then you get the second man, and then watch the third man cut across. That's one way to do it. Well, another is to find yourself a prototypical corner in terms of length, height, size, speed, and then also having him be patient, be fluid in his turns, be able to get a hand on the man, and more importantly than anything else, guess the route and stay ahead so that you're in position the entire time. Doesn't always work like that, though, as we know. So there you have it. Allen Robinson, sudden, economical, versatile in what he does. You can use him on the outside and he can tell you a nice story and be able to create yards after the catch. You can use him inside and give him two-way goes and he's virtually unstoppable against a lot of defenders in that realm. Thanks again for watching. For more RSP bowling videos, you can check out my YouTube channel, Matt Waldman's RSP Film Room, and my site, www.mattwaldmanrsp.com.